and it's not a matter of just cutting an Ironman program in half for 70.3, and that's 100% true. In fact, I think the 70.3 distance is more tailored to a short course program than it is an Ironman program. And you know, an Ironman might be twice the distance of 70.3, but I think it's equivalent to 3 times the distance. So just because you're good in the 70.3 doesn't mean that'll correlate to Ironman strength. There's very few people who have been able to do that. So when you're preparing an athlete for a 70.3, there's a lot more speed focus, and I'd be looking, you know, for the coaches who are asking me, I'd be looking at your athletes training very, very much high intensity Olympic distance type work, as opposed to that endurance stuff you're doing in Ironman. And you know, athletes like Crowe and the Raylerts are so naturally fast that by tapping that endurance, they're able to get away with it in 70.3. But you know, when you see these ITU guys who come across post-Olympics, and it happens every 4-year cycle, you're going to see this game change. You know, you saw Andy Potts come last time, he decimated the guys when he came across. You saw, you know, Michael Raylert come across the 70.3 from the Olympic distance, decimating fields, and that speed correlates a lot more in that kind of distance. So, you know, you've got to look at your high intensity bike work. You've got to look at a lot more at your track sessions. You know, sure, there's a volume component, but look at speed first if you're training for 70.3s. Ironman is about adding that volume, adding that endurance, and that's imperative. So two completely different programs, two completely different focuses, and if you're looking to train that 70.3 athlete, shift more towards that Olympic distance style of training, and you know, just tap endurance sporadically.